Get inspired with the woman empowerment extraordinaire, LaMeel.
Hello, beautifuls. Happy New Year. This is our first podcast recorded in the new year of our official, I think this is season 3. Lord, don't get me lying. But today's topic is called You Prayed for This. You prayed for this, and now what the fuck are you going to do with it? So I have 2 of my granddaughters here with me today, so you'll hear a little bit of them in the background. So what am I talking about? I just want to dive right in. So today I was in meditation and I got really emotional and I was crying because I remembered just a year ago praying to be in this very position that I'm in now. Look, I'm getting all emotional. Like, I manifested this, right? I mean, we manifest everything. Like, don't get it wrong. Even when this shit is like really fucked up, we manifested it. But this was conscious, intentional manifesting. And I am living in that manifestation. Not just one thing, right? My boards, my practice, it was about a whole vibe, right? So it was being in the house, publishing the books, you know, the house having a different vibe, the decor, that like everything. And I'm living it, right? I'm literally sitting on this rug in this room, and it was all a manifestation. And so this is coming, and this realization is coming at the end of like 4 or 5 days where I was feeling blah. And I was being hard on myself for feeling what I call blah. Clearly, I was having a hormonal change. And if you're part of the Goddess Circle, I've talked about this in a live where my hormones were off. And for a period of time, a few years ago, I was having really heavy cycles, and it seemed to catch back up with me. Like, I had a really weird cycle 1 month last year that went on for like almost a month. And then I got back into my routine of things. And so things got really consistent. And this is the first month where things were a little bit different, but also my dietary habits were different. So anyway, back to what the real topic is that we manifested this. And I remember praying and cultivating and doing the practices to get here, right? This is the only place I want it to be. And now I'm here. And to have a week of feeling like not productive, not focused, none of that. I was being really hard on myself. And I did a post, and it'll probably circulate on all the social medias, but it was really about like doing nothingness, right? The nothingness is all that was needed. Like, I just needed to relax. I needed to be okay. That coming to the realization, and you have to realize that learning is cyclical, right? It's sort of like an upward spiral. So you are constantly circulating over these same points, but at a different level, if you can imagine that, an upward spiral. So nothingness bothered me differently than it did this past week. It was more that I had goals. It was more that I had intentions. It is more that I wanted to have certain experiences that I was not having, and that I knew that I could create and cultivate, but I could not bring myself to that focus, and I needed to be okay with it. And that's kind of where I came to when I made the post on Saturday, was just, what What if this is what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, it is okay. Everything is okay. There's nothing to be done right now. I don't have to do it all now. I'll never get it all done anyway. Just to relax and be here and enjoy now. And all of the other things will take care of themselves, because truly I do the work on a regular basis, and so things are going to come together. And so that's where I was on Saturday. So here we are. It's Monday. And I'm feeling that. I'm vibing that. I have started a new millionaire meditation series. So if you'd like to join that, I'm gonna give you the recorded version of the meditation here on the podcast, and then we are going to get up and get on live every morning for, I think, 31 or 41 days, and meditate together. This specific millionaire meditation. And so the meditation is going to be available free here on LaMeel Radio. And then I think for like some crazy nominal fee, like $11, you can join the live stream. And I'll do a little bit of teaching prior to the group meditation. So that's coming down the pike by the end of the week, because I'd like to get that started before my birthday, which is next week. And so while we're here, if you are listening to this podcast in a timely manner, so within 30 days of April, 9th or 10th, whatever day it is, right now you can join the Goddess Circle Magic School for $100, literally for 6 months. The regular price is still a great price. It's $44.44 a month. You can cancel at any time. But for my birthday, I'm opening the floodgates. And so you can get in, and it's like $111 pays for you in full for 6 months in the Goddess Circle Magic School. You get all of the Goddess Circle things and the collective readings. There is feminine energy training, there's health and healing training, and of course there is magic school training. So you get 3 classes every month, and that are live, 3 trainings every month that are live. Okay, so my beautiful Andrea can't read the sign that says recording. She's like, hey, Grandma, what you doing? So anyway, you're going to get, you get 3 live trainings every month, and then you get 2 new classes every month, either 2 magic classes or 1 magic course and 1 divine feminine energy course. So it's a lot of training. It's all of me. And I'm actually going to be putting all of my health and healing and wellness stuff into the school, the Goddess Circle and Magic School, which includes my raw food trainings and high vibrational food dieting and all of that. It's in there. It's going to all be in there. It's an amazing offer. $111 for 6 months is a no-brainer. So I hope to see you all there. So now let's get into what we're really here to talk about, is that you prayed for this. So a lot of us do the work, and I'm seeing this through students that are in magic school, right? We set the intentions, we do the work, we make it happen, and then it happens, and it's like, okay, great, on to the next thing. Or mentally, you're on to the next thing, and some of the residuals of that original manifestation start to overwhelm you or annoy you, right? Because sometimes it's like, oh, I want a 17,000 square foot home. And then you're annoyed at having to maintain staff, right? Like you have to have staff if your house is 17,000 square feet, period. But to be like, I don't want to pay staff. I need a gardener and a landscaper and housekeeping, and I need at the very least a prep chef and blah, 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 blah. And how much furniture do you need in a 17,000 square foot home? So like you manifest your quote unquote, forever home, dream home, and then you're overwhelmed by the work and what it requires of you. Or you say you want a thriving business and you want to have a lot of orders every month. But then when the orders start coming in and you're having to keep up with packaging and labeling and bottling and all of those things, you're overwhelmed. You don't want it anymore. You back out, etc. So I'm seeing a lot of us manifest successfully, intentionally, and then not expand into the manifestation so that the manifestation that we've been asking for becomes the norm. And so I know. So that brings us to the other part of normalizing the manifestation. And that was like a whole thing that we had to go through in therapy. Like the level of peace and serenity that I have in this moment is night and day compared to what I had 2 years ago. So much so to where sometimes I'm like, oh my God, like, can it really be this easy? Is it always this easy? Like, is it going to stop being this easy? And part of that is, your nervous system adjusting, right? But normalizing being stress-free, normalizing having no fires to put out, normalizing living the life that you actually manifested. So now that you've manifested this, what are you going to do with it? The thing in the message here is that you have to expand into the manifestation. When what you want materializes, you have to expand into that. Even if it's just a new car, there is still expansion that has to be done. You've got to suddenly get used to paying for gas. Depending on the type of car you manifested, it may be premium gas. You've got to expand into insurance. You've got to expand into registration and property tax, depending on where you live or how you live, public or private or whatever. So there is still expansion. There's maintenance on your car, right? There is washing the car. There are accessories that you have to buy for the car, tires, and all of those things. There's an expansion into the manifestation of a car. There's an expansion into a manifestation of a house. There's expansion in the manifestation of a thriving business. There's expansion that follows becoming a mogul. There's expansion that has to take place after every manifestation. So hopefully, as you manifest and you're keeping a manifestation journal, I think I might, and I just released Love Notes to the Moon, which is a manifestation journal if you're manifesting with the moon, if you are part of our candle service. I'll be using that as a guide, and I might now, as I'm channeling this message, I'm probably going to update that. And for those of you who already have it, I'll create a PDF that you can download to use as a supplement. But how do you expand into this manifestation? Right? Manifesting a baby. There's so much that has to be expanded into when you have a baby, regardless of how it comes. So I want us to think about, what is that expansion? How do you expand? How do you not become overwhelmed and lose your manifestation? How do you make this new thing, this new experience, part of your everyday life? How do you normalize that manifestation? So let's look at ways that we could actually do that. I think the very first thing is the acknowledgement. Acknowledging that you're here, right? Acknowledging that you are actually in the place, at the point, have in hand the thing that you've been manifesting. And now that you're in it, you're able to see, because really there's certain things you're going to know ahead of time. But when you get in it, you're going to be able to see where you need to expand. Sometimes we think, if I could just get here, it would be so easy. And then you get here and realize, oh, I'm here, but there's shadow work that needs to be done. I'm here, but I'm still holding on to this old belief, and I'm not as productive as I want to be. Or I've got issues with my mood, anxiety, whatever it is. So acknowledging, hey, I'm here. Now, what do I need to do to normalize this? How do I need to feel to normalize this? And journaling, I think, is an excellent way to do that. Because if you're here and you're still afraid that you're going to lose it, right? What we focus on expands. So you need to work through those emotions. If you're here, but you're overwhelmed by how much work is required now that you are here, then shifting your mindset, that's mindset work, right? You have the time to do it all. It can all be done. You may need to learn new systems, things like that. So spend some time this month, because this is our official beginning of the year. It is spring. While we were in the fall and in the winter and we were hibernating, we were releasing a lot. We were making changes. We were doing a lot of evaluations. And now is the time for the things that we have planted to start blossoming. And as they blossom, think of it as the pruning stage, right? So the first true leaves come up and we clip down some of the other ones. Do that with your life. Do that with your manifestations. So I asked for this, I got here. And maybe your energy isn't what you need it to be to complete this or to maintain this. So what do you need to do for your health, for your energy, for your stamina? Right? I got here, but I don't have the companion yet to share it with. What do you need to do? How do you need to put yourself out there? Where do you need to go? What kind of activities do you need to be engaged in an effort to normalize this and have someone to share it with? So it's going to be different, even if you have the same manifestations. I believe it's going to be different for everyone. So it's hard for me to come up with like a million different scenarios. It's going to be different for everybody, depending on what area you need to work on, right? So for me, I am a fire putter outer, right? All of my children's emergencies or urgencies become my emergencies, or they used to. So now I prayed for this. I manifested a life where there's not emergency after emergency after emergency, where I am part of their lives, but I'm not the person putting out the fires of their lives. And I am able to enjoy their thriving, and they can benefit from mine. So that is a new manifestation. So how do I normalize that? Because it feels very weird to have no fires to put out. So it's mindset work. There's no fires to put out because there's not supposed to be fires to put out, because they're capable. So I'm still kind of feeding that manifestation. They're capable. They can do it on their own. It's okay for me to do other things. There's really nothing else for me to do. I did a good job already. I planted the right seeds. Now it's time for them to water their gardens. It's a constant choosing every day until you don't have to choose anymore because it's normal. And really, you're wanting this to get to the place of being a real belief. Those thoughts that I was listing, it's a real belief. And how do you create a belief? Beliefs are simply thoughts that you keep thinking. So this is normal. I'm supposed to be relaxed. I'm supposed to be able to spend days upon days doing absolutely nothing because I've already planted the seeds in my business. My business can run for weeks at a time without any input from me. My children can live amazing lives without input from me, just support and encouragement. That's all they really need, right? So I keep reiterating this. I keep making this choice. It's like I'm manifesting, I don't know, maybe you're manifesting $20,000 a month and then you get it and it's like, okay, how am I going to get it next month? You keep every day, you wake up and you make the choice. Anytime you have a thought and or a feeling that arises that is contrary to what you are manifesting and or expanding into. Okay? So if you're in the manifestation and you're still expanding into that, when you have contrary thoughts like this isn't going to last, you make the choice. Yes, this is. And it is because, so you're making a choice that not only is this the perfect manifestation that I asked for, that I've prayed for, that I co-created with Source, it's here, it's going to last, it is part of my life, it is normal because, and then you literally are creating your own belief system to support why this is okay, to support why this is how it's supposed to be. You have to create your own belief system that supports what it is that you are doing. So when I was feeling blah for a couple of days, or thinking it was blah because I wasn't unhappy. I wasn't as happy as I could be. I wasn't as energetic like I am right now, but it was just kind of an even kill. It was a high. I was still high on the vibrational scale, in terms of emotions. But the point is, I had to start working on the belief system for this new manifestation. So I don't have to be bubbly, overjoying, full of energy for the things that I ask for to materialize. I don't have to be doing a lot and saying a lot and engaged in a lot for the things that I want to work out successfully. I don't have to be running around and running errands and doing things for people for things to work themselves out, right? Those were statements leading into my new belief system, the belief system that I was creating that supports the fact that I don't have to work every day, that I can work 1 or 2 days a week and achieve my goals. Like, that's what I'm talking about. You create the belief system to support the manifestation or the expansion into your manifestation, which is basically just a series of smaller manifestations, right? You create that belief system. They don't just pop up on their own. It is something that you have to do. Just like you cultivated the manifestation, you've got to cultivate the belief system that will support it, sustain it, make it normalized. That belief system that you are creating is what is going to normalize and sustain the manifestation. And sometimes we have manifestations that we need to hold for a long time. Chris is reminding me that I should be using flags. So next episode, we're going to have flags. It's going to make it really easy for you to find the points. But anyway, sometimes you're manifesting something that you have a large gap in. And what I mean by that is that you've got, maybe you're manifesting something where you have to hold the vibe of it for a longer period of time, right? So manifesting dinner or seeing a friend or going on a day trip, you may not have to hold the vibe for very long. You may be able to put it in motion and do the work. Now, whether you're doing the metaphysical work, whether you're doing the magic work, whether you're doing a process of both, or a combination of both, doesn't matter. You know, that's something you can wake up in the morning, put in motion, and experience that day, right? But there's going to be other things where, like, I want to buy a town. I might need to hold the vibe of being able to purchase an entire town for a little while. That's also something that once you purchase a town, like, there's so much I don't know about that. That is definitely a manifestation that I'm going to have to expand into as I learn what's required. But when you have a manifestation that you need to hold the vibe for a while, building the belief system around that intention or that goal, even before it manifests, will help. So that way you begin to receive signs that, oh yeah, it's working, it's coming, it is possible. So I think the big takeaway here is that when we set intentions, we also need to create the belief system to support it, all at the same time. If you set the intention and you create the belief system that supports that intention, one, depending on where you are vibrationally, it's going to make it come faster. Two, if you have to hold the vibe for a while, it's going to be easy because you're going to start to see the little manifestations through your belief system, letting you know that you're on your way, that it's close, that it's happening, that it can happen. And it keeps the negative, it keeps the input of others, it keeps the doubt in check. Having a belief system. So if you ever talk to someone who is very religious and they're like, I don't know what I'm going to do, I don't have the money to pay my rent, blah, 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 blah. But they come back at the end and like, but God will provide a way, right? And if they're good, right, in their practice, they will continue to go into what God has done for them in the past, maybe what the Bible says, right? They are going back to the belief system that they have that supports that rent is going to be paid because it has in the past, because, you know, that's what God does, and et cetera, et cetera. You're doing the same thing for you. And your belief system that you create doesn't have to make any sense. I want to say that again. Doesn't have to make any sense. So we just released a podcast this morning that was actually recorded like February 15th about how, you don't have to be a good person to manifest. You don't have to be kind to others to make a lot of money. Like, we already know all of those things. However, you want to... So I've got a lot of renally infused in this particular episode. But the thing, and the main thing that I want to make sure that I got across today is that when you get into your manifestation, take note, acknowledge. And I think I did say I'm going to add a supplement so that we collectively in Goddess Circle Magic School can work out what our expansion, we can kind of anticipate what our expansion is and create belief systems around the intentions that we're setting. That is going to cause us to have so much more success when we do all the work up front, right? So let's say we're going to set an intention, $5,000. We're going to do this at the new moon. We're going to meditate on it. We're going to cleanse. We're going to meditate. We're going to get an inspired idea that is to have a sale. And this sale is going to bring in whatever. Maybe it's more customers or more orders. So the belief system around having more orders needs to be like, it's easier to fill more orders than it is to fill just one. If I need more people, the people will come. I could potentially fill all the orders myself, but it's also going to create this amazing opportunity and experience to hire someone specifically for that, right? So I am creating my belief system around bringing in the money through the funnel that I want it to come through, which is product sales. And I'm going to work through any negative comments, any negative thoughts, any negative energy, any feelings of doubt. I'm going to start working through that right now so that my belief system that supports that I can bring in $5,000 in sales, every week, every month, whatever it is, holds true. And then maybe my inspired actions will also expand into things like buying more products, organizing a space in the warehouse for an overflow of packaging supplies because the orders are coming. That belief system is going to put you in the state of expectancy. And then from the state of expectancy, right, your frequency has heightened because you're expecting it. You're knowing it's going to happen. And when you know it and you feel it, then the universe matches that. So I think that is the totality of it. I really appreciate you guys bearing with me through this episode and the baby. But it was a message that I really felt called to get out to you today because I was experiencing this today. I've been going through this cycle for the last 3 days. And the knowingness, I want to emphasize that while we're working because it's the new year. We're going to do a vision board class on YouTube. But the knowingness, when you do all of those things, right? When you set an intention and then you have a belief system that supports that intention, it moves you into knowing. And when you know, that this is what's happening, and it doesn't even matter what else is going on, this is happening. Like when I say come hell or high water, neither of those things have to happen because it's happening. Manifestation is almost instant. And I think I've done some episodes on instant manifestation. You should go back and listen. It's either on the podcast or on LaMeel TV because I have literally lived and experienced instant manifestations quite a bit. Big things, little things. It's absolutely crazy. But this process is going to get you to that a lot faster because the knowingness allows you to hold the vibration of what you want that you're matching for longer periods of time. The longer you can hold it, the faster it comes. So there it is. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll talk again next week.
LaMeel Radio. Empowerment radio for women, by women.